The question says what volume of 0.5 molar sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, will exactly neutralize 20 centimeter cube of 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide solution, which is NaOH solution. Considering the given question, it can be concluded that the reaction which occurred between sulfuric acid and sodium hydroxide is a neutralization reaction. That is the reaction between an acid and a base. So the first thing we do here is to write out the chemical equation. So we say that H2SO4, the acid, reacting with sodium hydroxide NaOH. So this is going to give us a salt and sodium sulfate Na2SO4 plus water H2O. If you look at the chemical equation, we will discover that the equation is not balanced. That is, we do not have equal number of atoms of each element on both sides. So what do? We balance the equation. So to balance this equation, we had 2 to be a coefficient of sodium hydroxide. So if you have 2 moles here, so let's check the number of hydrogen here. We have 2 atoms of hydrogen. So here we have 2. So hydrogen is not balanced as well. Let's look at sodium. Sodium is balanced 2, then we have 2 here. So looking at the sulfur, we have 1, then sulfur is balanced, we have 1 here as well. So if we look at oxygen, here we have 4 atoms of oxygen, we have 2 here. So that's 6. So if we look at this side, we have 4 atoms of oxygen plus 1, which is 5. So oxygen is not balanced. So to balance oxygen, we will add 2. So we have 2 atoms of oxygen present, 4 atoms of hydrogen. So let's check again. We have 2 here, then we have 2 here, which makes it 4. So we have 4 atoms of hydrogen on both sides as well as 6 atoms of oxygen on both sides. So the equation is now balanced. So now we have a balanced chemical equation. The next thing to do is to write out the formula. The formula we'll be using is CaVa over CbVb to be equal to Na over Nb. Here Ca is the concentration of acid, Va is the volume of acid, Cb is the concentration of base in mole per dm cube, mind you. Then Vb is the volume of base. Na is the number of moles of the acid used, while Nb is the number of moles of base used. So the next thing we do now is to write out the given data from the question. From the question, we have Ca to be, that is concentration of the acid, to be 0.5 molar. So we say Ca equals 0.5 molar. The volume of acid used, Va, is unknown. The number of moles of acid, if we look at the question, we have 1 mole of acid, that is the coefficient present in front of the acid here is 1. So we have Na to be equal to 1. So coming to the base now, we have concentration of base, Cb, to be 0.1 molar. So we have Vb to be equal to 20 centimeter cube. And our Nb, that is the number of moles of the base used. So from the equation, we have 2 as a coefficient of the base. So the number of moles of base used in this reaction is 2. So Nb is 2. Having stated this, we have Va to be unknown, that is the volume of acid used. So to find Va, we will make Va the subject of formula. Va equals Cb Vb Na all divided through by Ca Nb. So let's substitute the values. Cb is 0.1 molar. So I have 0.1 molar multiplied by the volume of base 20 centimeter cube, 20 centimeter cube multiplied by the number of mole of acid used is 1. So multiplied by 1 all divided through by the concentration of acid used is 0.5. So I have 0.5 molar multiplied by the number of moles of base used, which is 2. So let's calculate. So this gives us 2.0 centimeter cube. That is, the volume of acid used is 2.0 centimeter cube. So here we've answered the question. Hence, 2.0 centimeter cube of 0.5 molar sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, will exactly neutralize 20 centimeter cube of 0.1 molar sodium hydroxide solution.